Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of Filmer. Tonight, I will be reviewing Birthday by Meredith Russo. So, two kids, Morgan and Eric, are bonded for life after being born on the same day at the same time. We meet them once a year on their shared birthday as they grow and change, as Eric figures out who he is and how he fits into the world, and as Morgan makes the difficult choice to live as her true self. Over the years, they will drift apart, come together, fight, make up, and break up, and ultimately realize how inextricable they are a part of each other. I don't know that word, but okay. So, we've read one of Meredith's books before. It was called If I Was Your Girl, and it was about a girl named Amanda Hardy who is new to school, and she turns out to be transgender, and she falls in love with a guy named Grant. She just goes through the hardships of trying to be a girl in a southern town. And so, let's be honest, that's very different from this story, where it's supposed to be a very cute story about how two friends are going through life together. They were, like I said before, they were born on the same day at the same time, so essentially their families became friends. They both have played football together, and one has to deal with a misogynistic father who hates homosexuals and wants to destroy wants him to stay a football player, and essentially in the most misogynistic way possible to be a man and to not show weakness. On the other hand, we've got Morgan, who is going through some shit, going through the realization that she's trans. And let's be honest, we've seen this structure before. Meredith's stories are usually linear with long chapters that express the love and hate that the character goes through. But this story has a very similar structure to another book that we did, Some Girls Do, the lesbian romance between Ruby and another girl named Morgan. It has the very same story structure where it goes off of the perspective of both Eric and Morgan, but I'm also going to say that it doesn't really work. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of seeing both perspectives, but seeing them for only one day per year is like, it doesn't work. Like, I get what they were trying to do, and I did listen to the interview at the end of the audiobook for this story, and I completely understand what she was trying to do, and how she was trying to play off the idea of it takes years for someone's personality to build, and we don't really get to learn too much about Morgan or Eric. I mean, we get to know the basics, like, again, they both played football. One's more feminine, the other one's more masculine. One's trans, but they don't know it until later on, where the other one is definitely a guy, and he's got all these expectations where he needs to play football just so he can get a college scholarship and leave the southern town that they live in, and just it plays off the idea of prejudice against homosexuals and the LGBTQ community, which is a huge departure from what I was talking about in the Q-Force, where here there are moments of exception, like Eric accepts Morgan for no matter what she is, whether it's gay or it's transgender or it's lesbian. Like, he's got her back no matter what. Where her father is dealing with it and trying to learn to come to terms with it like a good father should. Where on the other hand, we have Eric's family, where we've got the father who is a huge dumbass who is your typical homophobic father who almost kills Morgan for essentially stealing his son from him. Where on the other hand, we have Eric's mother, who is very supportive, very loving towards Morgan, especially since Morgan sees her as her surrogate mother, since she lost her mother, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 years before the book. And it's just, I kind of cheered when I learned that Eric's parents divorced, because his father is so toxic and so horrible to them. I mean, learning what he did to his 3 sons is just awful. Like, that is an abusive parent. I also kind of like the little idea that Morgan's mother left her tapes showing that she cares about them no matter what they were, despite not knowing that they were trans. And she, in the end, she does love her child, and she does support them, whether they become a doctor or a major athlete or a scientist. And just, that is a mother's love, especially coming from beyond the grave. Like, I really feel that, like her father, her mother would have supported her wholeheartedly on her identity. We also see some of the bullies, but like I said before, we don't really get to see too much of their lives. Like, we do see some of the football games that they both participate in. We learn about Morgan's love of video and making documentaries and videos and stuff like that. And we do learn about Eric's love of music and him learning how to play the guitar. But, like I said, 1 year does not make a story. Yeah, there are stories that take like weeks, or they do the entire story within a day, maybe a couple of days. But at least those stories try to show us the school life, and they show us the development of relationships between friends and family. And don't get me wrong, they tried to do this here, but it just feels like something's missing. They should have done at least like a day or two, maybe a week for each year instead of just 1 day. Because 1 day isn't going to do crap to tell us who this person is, especially if it's their birthday. Like, it's a special day, but they could have just gone on vacation for one of the years and we still wouldn't know anything about them. I think the story should have been at least a bit longer and focused on a longer time span, and that's what kind of destroyed this for me. That's why I didn't want to continue reading, because, I don't know, it became really boring just following the structure that they were going through. And I guess it's because we've heard it before. The two friends becoming romantic partners through diversity. Which, don't get me wrong, I do like them getting together. I mean, it was said in the summary where we learn that they are going to get together. So there wasn't really that big of a mystery. The most I can say is at least they didn't do the breakup trope where they're no longer friends or they give up on each other. So that's a plus. I don't know. Honestly, I want to give this a 5 out of 10 because this is just so hard to explain. They could have done a lot better, and I hope Meredith's book is better than this, but I don't know. So, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click a little notification bell for more of my content, and have a great night.